Hello, John Marshall, the DrillMaster here with an 18-second video. So this should be quick. Well, not necessarily. So what we're going to start out with is what we have on the screen here. On the screen we have, it looks like a color guard. Yes, it looks like an Army JROTC color guard. And what's missing here? Well, what's missing is gold fringe on the American flag. All Army flags must have gold fringe, unless now in the case of the DC flag here, the DC flag, the state requirements, the district's requirements are actually their public law as far as the states are concerned with their flags. So there's some states have certain guidelines as to how big the flag can be and what kind of fringe is on there, all kinds of different things. So it's actually enacted into a law. So the red fringe there is mandatory for the DC flag. However, you should be carrying at least the Army JROTC flag for the competition. Army color guards must carry the American flag and at least the Army flag. In this case, the Army JROTC flag, and then other than competitions, it's only a 4-man color guard is allowed. So, but outside, then you would add that DC flag if necessary. So, belt's too low. Belt is way too low. Belt's sagging a bit, but here it might have been caught underneath the harness strap right here. So that belt, it might be loose and hanging, or it could have been nice and tight and accidentally caught underneath the strap there. So, and then also belt is too low. So we see here all 4 buttons, but the belt needs to be right in the middle right there of the last 2 buttons. And it should be resting pretty much on top of this pocket flap here. You can see the button. I've learned how to use my cough button. Speaking of buttons. All right, so belts need to come up and be much tighter, it looks like. And gold fringe so far we've identified. You're marching shoulder to shoulder. Well, you're standing, at least now, shoulder to shoulder. And that's not authorized. Training Circular 3-21.5 says that color guards will stand and march at close interval. You'll always maintain close interval. And that's every single military color guard. Now, I'm not talking about ceremonial drill. I'm talking specifically about regulation drill. Anything based off of the Training Circular, the Marine Corps Order, or the Air Force Manual. It's regulation drill. Regulation drill requires all of the color guards to have that separation of 4 to 6 inches. So, let's see here. Feet are a little bit inconsistent. Right there, look a little bit closer than the others. The toes look a little closer. And then here also, right rifle guard, you might have your toes a little bit wider than 45. But then again, from this angle and from this distance, it's a little difficult to tell. Beret is worn really well here. That's awesome. Grip on the rifle, very good. And it looks like same here. Both grips, awesome. But your beret is being worn, left guard, it's being worn pretty much on the back of your head. It's tilted a little back, so definitely need to fix that. All right, so I said it was 18 seconds of drill or of video. Let's see what this 18 seconds entails. There we go. I'm at a loss as to how to describe that step. It's reminiscent of the goose step, which I don't care if you march the goose step or not. people associate it with the Nazis of World War II, and that's not necessarily so. They used it, but others have used the goose step as well. The Chinese communists, look at them. They're the communist North Koreans. They have that absolutely incredible bounce goose step, which is, I don't even want to try to attempt that. But anyway, let's get back to this. That's not authorized. I don't know what you think, team. I don't know what you were thinking when you were devising the marching step. It's not authorized. It's not anywhere at all described in 3-21.5. Your feet are supposed to clear the ground. Just clear the ground when you're marching. Stomp, 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 stomp. Slam. Oh my goodness. You're slamming your feet into the ground. That's not necessary. Not at all. Now, wheels are interesting. And for the Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard, they're called turns. And then the Air Force decided to give them this ridiculously long name, half left about, half right about, which is just silly. It honestly is. A wheel is just fine. All right, so on wheels, you're not marking time and you're not half stepping. It's a mix between the two. So how do we get everybody to look the same? Well, since 3 of the members are half stepping more than not, and then the right rifle guard in this case for the right wheel, he's going to be marking time and rotating in place. What technically should happen is the right rifle guard is going to be toe striking since he's marking time, and the others are going to be heel striking. So it's a completely different step, which doesn't look good. So I can understand toe striking all the way through a right and left wheel, and an about wheel as well. So I get that. I really do. So I don't have an issue with that because we need standardization throughout that movement. However, stomping is nowhere described in the training circular either, or actually, for that matter, any of the service manuals. So Calvin Coolidge High School, you really need to reconsider what you're doing here. The stomp is not necessary, not at all. And again, you can't march. You're not authorized to march at close at shoulder to shoulder. It has to be close interval. So, how far up? Look at the spacing here. How far up? And you're losing your alignment as well. You're leaving your right rifle guard behind. The whole team is leaving the right rifle guard behind. So a wheel movement should take about 6 steps. If you for a team of 4, 6 steps is just fine. 8 steps is a little bit too long unless you have 5 members. The larger the team, the more steps it's going to take to turn. But here, let's look at this. Look at the foot height here. Right rifle guard, you're coming about 2, I would say maybe 2, possibly 3 inches off the ground. So you're more towards the standard. But everybody else, way too high. Way too high. The standard for mark time for the Army is the foot comes 2 inches off the ground. Now, the Air Force is 4 inches off the ground. Both the training circular and the Air Force manual say the foot comes off the ground. Well, how do you measure that? Where does that measurement come from? Well, unfortunately, it's not all that clear in both the training circular and the Air Force manual. However, if we look at the Marine Corps order, the Marine Corps order delineates that much better and says that the toe comes off the deck 2 inches. The heel comes off the deck 4 inches. So you're going to have a natural hang, a natural angle to your foot. And you're not going to hyperextend the toes up or point the toes down. So that helps us understand the style, the technique that we're supposed to use. So letting your foot naturally hang so that the toe comes off the ground or the marching surface here last, and then as you bring the foot down, the toe strikes first. Then we can understand that most likely what the Army's intention is that the toe comes off the marching surface 2 inches for the Army. And then for the Air Force, then it would be 4 inches. And left rifle guard is losing his name tag, I just noticed. All right, so, but we've got to go back to the stomping here. It's just way too much. That step is incredible. Now, I have to give you credit, though. All of the feet come up at the same level, at the same time, at the same angle. I mean, you do it really well. That's just great. However, not supposed to. All right, so guards should be swinging their arms 9 inches to the front, 6 inches to the back, and then obviously our color bearers do not swing their arms because of that left hand grip. Now, let's talk about the left hand grip here. The training circular has a drawing, unfortunately. The older versions of the training circular, which are actually behind me on the shelf, the older versions show pictures, which is really nice. And the pictures don't show the thumb in front of, I'll use my mic here. They don't show the thumb in front of the staff at carry. If I remember correctly, back in it was either the 80s or the 70s, there's a picture in one of the manuals that shows the thumb behind the staff. So now the drawing has the thumb in front of the staff. And I've seen Army color guards where the thumb is in front of the staff. That is an utterly useless grip. Absolutely useless. There's no reason to cup your hand around the bottom of the colors harness socket. However, having your thumb around there would be much better to be able to control. It's just in case high winds just all of a sudden pop up. But this is the Army technique that's required now. So the thumb should be in front of the staff, even though it's, like I said, an utterly useless grip, and all of the fingers should be together. So American flag bearer, you've got all your fingers together, excellent, but there's some finger separation here, and then you're going to want to also pull those thumbs in front of the staff, unfortunately. And I'm looking elsewhere. Look at the timing here. This is just great. You can see a little bit of a bend in the foot here. No bend here. It looks like no bend for the American flag. Well, maybe a little bit of bend there. So timing is very, very good, but just a tiny bit of phasing. And movement phasing, you could look that up on movement phasing is a hashtag that I use on Instagram. Movement phasing means that even though this team is in step and in step really well, there's a slight timing issue, a phasing issue where in this case, as their left feet leave the ground, they're not all leaving the ground or the marching surface at the same time. They're leaving at slightly different times. Or the heel then is just slightly different. Some are a little early, some might be a little late, some might be on time. So the timing is very, very close. That's a big kudo for you. That It's very well done. So, arm swing. Let's go back. Play. Arm swing, right rifle guard. Right rifle guard. Arm swing. But with you marching so close together, then you're not able to get that arm moving all that well. Left rifle guard has pretty much no problem with the arm swing. Not a big deal, but so a couple of things to tighten up, and also, so a couple of kudos to you as well. Calvin Coolidge High School, that was from DC. Well done in several areas, but you really have to come within standards. Training Circular 3-21.5 and also Army Regulation 840-10. 840-10 is pretty much the flag manual: flags, tabards, streamers, etc. So not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, and one last thing. I hate seeing these in performances. The orange caps, I get it. When you're in public, it helps law enforcement know that it's a fake rifle, and any other American citizens who are aware, it helps them know that it's a fake rifle. But during competition, it would be really nice if you could just pop them off and stick them in a bag before you hit the parade deck. So unless it's required, if it's required that you march with them, then okay, there's nothing really you can do. Other than that, though, it would be much more professional to remove them. So, all right, lots of comments there on only 18 seconds worth of video, but I hope I've been helpful. Thank you.